What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Sorry about the vertical. I'll go back to horizontal in the near future. But I wanted to talk about this situation with this football player, this NFL guy, Colin something. And it brought me to a realization. In America, we like to say people hate us for our freedoms, but at the same time, when a guy expresses that freedom, even if it's in a way that we don't like, we get mad, we get angry, and then we start acting like fascists. We want to silence him. We want to make him lose his job. We want to make him lose his contract. Yet and still, according to American freedoms that Muslims and Arabs and everybody hates, this is an acceptable form of, political disobedience, protesting, civil disobedience. But I want to talk about something else. And I'm going to speak in generalities here. So in specific, you as an individual who watches this, don't get upset. They say the dog that was hit is the one that yelps. So when people are throwing stones in a general direction, and I'm throwing a general stone out there. And so it's not going to ring true for everyone in specific. So don't take it specifically if it doesn't apply to you. But in general, America hates black people. And they hate famous black people, successful black people. Now, before you think I went all social justice warrior, Black Lives Matter, I haven't. But this is true if you look at America now and historically, contemporarily and historically. If you look at how America treats successful blacks, America has and still does hate black Americans. What do I mean? It's burning rice. Historically, let's go historically. Any successful black community in the U.S. has been destroyed by white America. There's this community that was in Florida. I can't remember what it was called, Greenville or something. Successful agricultural black community destroyed. 300 blacks killed on approximately. Some other community, I forgot where it was. They strung them all up and hung them from trees. Every last black person they can get their hand on. Women, children, small children, old people, none were spared. Hung from trees. Black Wall Street. Successful black community. An accusation that was never proven was made against one black man. An entire community was burned down. Thousands of people made homeless. The individual who was considered to be guilty was never found, was never accused in a court of law for his crime. It was just some random black guy harassed a white woman, and we're going to burn down an entire community. Over 300 homes. Again, they seem like that number. Were burned down. Thousands of black Americans made homeless. Was a successful community. Never recovered. How do you say it? Tuskegee? Yeah, Tuskegee. The community. Successful black community. Government gave that community syphilis. That is the community that produced the likes of the Tuskegee Airmen. The most successful bomber protection air crew, period, bar none, in World War II. They never lost a bomber. They lost a lot of pilots, but never lost a bomber. Most successful combat air crew in World War II in terms of their mission and their objectives. Black pilots, black mechanics, black commanders, they got no love. They got syphilis. That's what they were given in return. That was their thank you from America. When we look contemporarily, name me a black man who is successful that isn't under the ringer right now. Michael Jordan, Bill Cosby, all the accusations against Bill Cosby have been turning up negative right now. They have all actually, most of them are false allegations. They've all been dropped, except for a few, and those look like they're going to fall apart too. Mayweather, when he was at his peak, after he fought Pacquiao, everybody wanted to jump back on some old charges where he got into like some domestic dispute with his woman. The guy who just made the movie about Nat Turner. Now they're bringing up stuff that he was acquitted of years ago. O.J. Simpson. Whether you like it that he was guilty or not, a court found him as not guilty. America loves to tear down its successful black people. America does not have love for successful black Americans. So let me ask you this. In the context of the situation, historical and contemporary fact, what grounds does this guy have to be patriotic and stand up for the national anthem? I think he should. I was raised with, in the military community, worked with the military for 13 years. Most of my friends are active duty or retired military, active duty combat experience individuals. I'm a patriot because that's how I grew up. But being a patriot, understanding that the constitutional rights given to an American citizen allows him to not be patriotic, explain to me what context does he have to be patriotic? Let's just look at slavery. Let's just go back a little bit. I know I'm coming back over stuff, but slavery, the most brutal form ever practiced in the world, the Arabs and white America. And everybody likes to say, oh, blacks enslaved each other, blah, 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 in Africa. But it wasn't this type of slavery where, you lashed people and cut them and mutilated their bodies, had husbands and wives separated, sold their kids in front of them, and then separated the husband from the wife. And then it didn't happen like this, except with white people and Arabs. Not even an apology from the nation. America hates black America, especially successful black Americans. And you expect this guy to be patriotic. Proof that you guys don't respect and like successful black Americans is just the way you came at him. His action was one of civil disobedience. And did you look at the Twitter replies? You effing nigger, get out, go back to Africa, blah, blah, blah. They cursed him. Not once did anyone go to his Twitter and say, hey, look, man, did you ever stop to think that maybe you're wrong or maybe you should view it from like this, boom, 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 boom? No, because America doesn't think black Americans have the cognitive capacity to have a logical or reasonable discussion or conversation. They don't even think we're worthy of it. And that's why they didn't come at him like that. That's why the go-to move for white America is to call us a bunch of niggers. You used to be slaves, blah, blah, blah. You can see right here on my YouTube channel. Just look at the comments in the past and look at the comments. White America doesn't even think we're worthy of conversation. Whether you think we're capable of it or not, that should be like something you determine. Have a conversation with the individual. When they prove to be, incapable of comprehending what you're saying to them in a logical way, tear them down. But when it's your go-to, something you won't do to each other, that speaks volumes about how you feel about black America. Is the guy a douchebag? Yeah, absolutely. He lives privileged. And that's because he's American. There's probably Africans, if you went to Africa and taught them rules of football, they'd smoke this guy. Kenyans, whatever else, they could show him a thing or two about football. We see it in Europe with the soccer, I think we call it. Blacks are doing well there also. We're just naturally athletic people. So yes, it is a douchebag move. It is the United States that has afforded him the ability to make like something in tune of 110 million over the next couple of years playing football. Salute the flag, dude. It's easy. Just stand up and take it. You're getting tons and tons of money. And then take action to try and change things, whether in your nation or somewhere else where you think you're going to get respect. But he chose not to do that. And that's his American right. So, are we fascists or are we free? If you want to say that we're a free people as a nation and the most free nation in the world, let him have his right to be a douchebag. But to attack him as an individual who is an ethnicity, to attack his ethnicity, it speaks volumes about the reality of the conversation that America has with black America. And when I say conversation, I mean in a physical form, just like how they treat us and how they treat us verbally and psychologically. If I'm wrong, tell me. Prove to me I'm wrong. I'm not racist. I don't hate white people. I got them in my family. My kids are half white. There's no way. I just don't hate white people. My grandfather's white. I say this all the time. I don't hate white people. I live amongst them. I love living amongst white people, actually, more than brown people. Because when you live amongst brown people, they make a freaking mess of the neighborhood. They glitter everywhere. They're loud. They cook funny smelling food. Yeah. I prefer to live amongst them. But one thing I learned over time, and sometimes in a harsh lesson, was that you pay attention to how people treat you, not what they say. They can say they're not racist. They can say they love you all they want. But when they treat you bad, then you know the reality. And what's the reality of Black America? Anyway, let's get back on the point. America hates successful blacks. And you want a future example? I'm going to predict the future, not in a soothsayer magician way. Just, anybody who's been on my on my Facebook page, Abuamerican, I predict this stuff and it always comes out true. I'm going to give you an example that's going to come to pass, and it's proof that America hates successful blacks. All of this Black Lives Matter, all this stuff, they sparked a type of black national pride. Blacks have been taking their money out of regular banks and transferring them to black-owned banks. And black-owned banks are reporting incomes of millions now. They're like, we're getting millions. Black Americans make up for something in tune of $14 billion US in annual spending. So their banking capacity in terms of power is quite significant. You watch. America's going to shut down all those black banks. I'll bet you money. Just give it time. All my predictions, if you go to my Abuamerican Facebook page, it's a little plug right there for my own page, go and check it out. I've never been wrong. Been off a little bit, but generally you could say, oh yeah, he was right. He did say something like that. They're going to find a way to shut down those black banks now that they're making millions. I promise you. Because America cannot stand to see successful blacks. They hate it with a passion. And any black individual who gets famous, they tear apart. Look at that lady Leslie. What did she do besides star in a horrible movie? Okay, what happened with Milo? That's not his fault. Nonetheless, what did she do other than star in a black movie? I don't really like the lady. But what did she do to deserve all this stuff that's going on with her? It doesn't matter if you're man or you're woman. America will hate you when you become successful as a black person. And then when we are no longer able to be the target, you brown people and you light brown people, Hispanics, Asians, whatever else, both types of Asians, the Far East and the Southeast Asians, you watch out. You're next. You're next. Muslims are feeling it. Anyway, if I'm wrong, school me. Show it to me, prove it to me. Come with proof and evidence, come with a logical argument. Don't come with this stuff like the people on my page, John Smith and whatever else, who just hate to see black people with opinions that are contrary to their own. Because you think I should sit in a corner and be quiet. Oh, yes, master. Oh, yes, master. That's what you'd like to see. I know. But those days are over, and they're not coming back. No matter how much you'd like to think whoever's going to save you in whatever political arena, and he's going to bring back the great whiteness and whatever else, or whatever your whole program is, it's gone. We'll be languishing in the corner as a people, but we have our voice now. You can't take it from us. That guy, he has a voice. If you don't agree with the message, tell him why. Listen to him speak. He's an articulate individual. The 49ers, did you see their statement? They said it. Say, hey, we're patriots. We believe that a person should be patriotic, but we also understand that these are rights given to us as American citizens, and he has the right to protest in whatever fashion he sees fit, as long as it's not violent or whatever else. Their statement was perfect. So, anyway, like I said, and I'll say it again, if I'm wrong, tell me. Bring it to the comment sections. Hey, I found out how to do like these live YouTube channel castings. Come on with me live, and we'll discuss it. This is your man, Abuamerican. Catch me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all at Abuamerican. I'm out.